going to be a thorough investigation. It's going to be a long one, but we have to make sure that we get the answers that we're seeking in this.
Governor, are those divers back in the water at this point?
These divers have been back in the water for hours now. I can't stress enough the heroism of these folks. They are in frigid conditions. They are down there in darkness where they can literally see about a foot in front of them. They are trying to navigate mangled metal, and they're also in a place that it is now presumed that people have lost their lives. So the work of these first responders, the work of these divers, I cannot stress enough how remarkable these individuals are.
But Governor, can you talk about the rebuild, specifically this port, huge economic impact for the state?
It's a huge economic impact for the country. And that's why I think when we've seen how the entire country has rallied around Maryland and rallied around Baltimore, it's because they understand that the Port of Baltimore is not just impacting Maryland. If you look at this, this port is responsible for over 51 million tons of foreign cargo. That's the largest in the country. That for everybody who is buying cars, for everybody who is buying farm equipment, we're the largest port in the country that does that. So this is not just impacting Maryland. This is impacting that farmer in Kentucky. It's impacting that auto dealer in Michigan. And so it is imperative that we get this bridge rebuilt. It's imperative that we get the Port of Baltimore back up and going. And it's not just about how are we supporting Maryland. This is about how we're supporting the American economy.
We had something similar in Pennsylvania last year in Philadelphia with the 95 bridge. Have you heard from Governor Shapiro, and who else have you heard from around the country offering any sort of help or words of encouragement?
I've been overwhelmed by the amount of outreach that we've received from governors from around the country, both Democrat and Republican, from the amount of outreach that we received from philanthropists, from people who are just asking how can they help. And so Maryland, we really appreciate the love that's been coming from around the country and the support. And I tell them the people who need it most are these families.
Governor, what's the top priority going forward? The recovery is now underway. What is the top priority now that you're kind of shifting more into the investigation?
Yeah, well, the top priority for me right now is still the recovery. We've got to bring these families closure. I promise these families that I would instruct every single asset that we have to focus on that search and rescue, air, land, and sea assets to focus on search and rescue. Now that we've transitioned to the recovery phase, my promise to them is this: I will devote every single resource to making sure that you receive closure. And that has to be important.
Have you ruled out the possibility that there could be criminal charges for the shipping company or the individual who was driving that ship on Monday evening?
It's still too early in the investigation to rule anything in or out, but we know the investigation, wherever it leads, that we will follow wherever the investigation leads.
Are you finding anything surprising? The ship has been in a collision before.
I'm sorry, anything surprising about?
Is there anything surprising so far about the investigation so far? For instance, like a pattern perhaps of accidents?
No, I don't think there's anything surprising about the investigation thus far. And the investigation is still young, and so there's a lot that we still have to figure out. But the thing that we know is wherever the investigation leads, that we will follow, and we will make sure there's true accountability around it.
Governor, thank you so much about making an emergency bill to make some funds available for families affected by the closure of the port. Any thoughts about that?
Well, it's important to me to make sure that these workers are protected and that these workers are supported. The same thing is about important to me to make sure that these families are supported in this time. We are going to be working with members of the General Assembly. We're going to be working with members of our federal delegation, but we have to ensure that we can both get our economy going and knowing that for these workers, and when we're talking about a port that is responsible for over 140,000 jobs indirectly, are impacted by the Port of Baltimore. And so we have to both make sure that our workers are supported and getting this economy moving again.
Hey guys, thank y'all so much. That's all the time we have right now.
Is it 6 workers, Governor, or are there more?
Oh, sorry.
Are there 6 workers or are there more?
There's six workers that have been unaccounted for.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
And there you just heard from Governor Wes Moore there, just briefing the media on the update with the Baltimore Bridge collapse. He said that divers have been back in the water for hours in frigid conditions, navigating mangled metal in a place where people have believed to have lost their lives. That's 6 people, 6 workers that divers are currently looking for at this hour.
And Wes Moore, Governor Moore said the families are the top priority. They're going to devote every resource possible to make sure these families do get some closure. Again, a top priority to get them back. And he also mentioned it is imperative to get that bridge rebuilt and reopen the Port of Baltimore, because it has 140,000 jobs impacted by the Port of Baltimore. So the workers all need to be supported, and Governor Moore said they will do just that. And talking about those jobs, he said that 51 million tons of foreign cargo, that's the largest port in the country, that's specifically in Baltimore, and it impacts farmers in Kentucky, he said, also car manufacturers. So just adding to why it is so important for it to reopen, and also why federal officials have also promised funding to make sure that it also opens quickly as well. He also said he'll make sure that he devotes to make sure it receives the closure as well for those families and getting those bodies recovered too. So we, of course, will continue to follow this story. We've been doing it all morning long. We've had team coverage, and we'll have more right here on DC News Now and online as well. We'll be back right after this.